Welcome to Fashionable Trash Talk. I'm your host, Ashley Aaliyah. Here I analyze and discuss the fashion of celebrities and anyone influential. On today's episode of Fashionable Trash Talk, we are going to discuss the icon that is Kelis and her style evolution. I love Kelis so much, and I think that she is so underrated when it comes to fashion, so disrespected, so dismissed, but has one of the biggest cultural impacts when it comes to fashion. And had it not been for Kelis, we would have never have gotten this style from a lot of celebrities that we have now, but one specifically, Rihanna. If Kelis walked so Rihanna can run. Literally, Rihanna's entire good girl going bad rollout was Kelis style, specifically Bossy video. It's like, and people never discuss that. So I don't see how people can be in the same breath praise Rihanna for being such this amazing style icon, but then try to diss Kelis when more than half of the girls are running around with Kelis swag. I feel like Kelis was one of the first alternative black girls. And the fact that she was from Harlem just made it just very different, because I feel like when it comes to style, especially New York girls, they are solidified in the fashion game, but it's usually more of like a little Kim S type of lane, like the fly girl from around the way, if you will, where it's like Kelis also gives off that fashionable New York vibe, but it was just done in a way like we've never seen before. And I just feel like it's just so many amazing things about her. Like, these pictures are all out of order. I couldn't even do it like how I traditionally do the style evolution videos, just because she's been amazing from start to finish with her career. But I think one of the most impactful things starting out was her hair. It was big, it was free, it was the colors, it was things that we've never seen before, and things that the girls weren't doing. And then she was signed to Pharrell and the Neptunes and stuff like that, and she didn't sound like a traditional R&B-esque type of girly. It was that popish alternative rocker. It was just like a mix of all of it, and it was just so impactful and so before its time. And her fashion was very different from what we've seen the other girls doing. It was more like that punk rock type of thing. Like, if I had to compare anyone's style that was similar to hers, I'd probably say Gwen Stefani, where it's just was that effortless but fashionable, groundbreaking but still testing the limits and pushing the limits type of style. And I think it was just so refreshing to see, compared to what everybody else was doing. And then when she kind of, she got with Nas, and that was just oh, okay. Because, Nas is someone that's, coveted in the black community, especially when it comes to rap music. So, and he's considered to be quite fashionable himself. So when you see this authentic kind of hood New York guy with this alternative type of New York girl, and they just merged together, it was just such a iconic moment, such a fashionable moment. And which leads me into my next point of Bossy video, which is one of my favorite videos from Kelis, when she had the grill in her mouth and she had the Mrs. Jones chain, and he was in milkshake video and stuff like that. But I think one of the most impactful things that she did in her career that we still see today is the haircut, the haircutting. I don't feel like she gets enough credit for how she revolutionized hair in the space of R&B and hip hop. I don't think she gets enough credit for that. And then if we go into just the fashion, where it was when she started to revolutionize her style and it got a little bit more grown and sexy, it was just so edgy, fashion forward, groundbreaking. I know I keep saying these words, but it's just like, it was just so good. And it was just so outside of the things that we traditionally seen. And it was stuff that nobody else was doing. Nobody else was doing it. And I think the saddest part about it all is that Kelis was giving her all and putting it in to curate this type of lane just for all the artists after her to steal it and for her never to be credited. Like, everybody praises Tiana Taylor. She's another one who, from start to finish of her career, who has directly benefited off of Kelis' swag. You know, Tiana Taylor, me and my friends just talking about this, was also once signed to Pharrell and things like that. And signed to Kanye too. And for those who know, Kanye was a huge part in Rihanna making that transition to the good girl going bad. So Kanye got the direct inspiration from that from Kelis. So I just think it's just so odd. I can't lie. I got really upset when that discourse was happening around Beyonce album and Pharrell and the rights, and a lot of Beyonce fans, like Megan fans, just started flat out disrespecting Kelis and her impact and influence in the industry. And it's like, well, how can you do that when Beyonce herself, if you look at a lot of Beyonce's style during the Bootylicious era and kind of like out a little bit like after that, during that time, you can see a few nods at Kelis' style. And I'm almost positive, I want to keep saying, I'm almost positive it's the Bootylicious video and not check up on it, when she had like the blonde at the top and those pink tips in her hair, talking about Beyonce. Like, that's a direct Kelis influence. And I'm not saying she's copying. That's what I'm not saying at all. But I'm saying Kelis inspired the girls to truly think outside the box from what they were traditionally doing and how they were wearing their hair. Because I think Kelis been in the industry since 1997, 96, I want to say. It was either 96 or 97. Kelis was in the industry for a while, just being her authentic self. Like I said, we did not see another Black girl who were doing the things that she was doing, and yet she is rarely credited for it. Like the designers, the features, even like the touch that she's brought onto tracks when she's like a featured artist and things like that. And I think that Rihanna's career trajectory and just the fashion, and I have Rihanna's fashion book, and all the things that we seen her do is what, if Kelis would have been better supported, let's say, and let's say if Kelis was like during our time, like a little bit, I think that would have been the career trajectory that Kelis would have had. But I think Kelis just came into the game a little bit too early and, you know, didn't have the correct resources. And I also don't understand why people were getting on her so much about the Pharrell thing, because it has been known that Pharrell has had people who was supposed to be a part of Neptunes or signed with him, and he didn't probably have the funds or didn't always do business correctly. Like, people always get down on Diddy, but Diddy was not the only one that was not doing business correctly when it came to artists and not fully developing people like the way that he should have. So it's just, I always kind of think about that when it was just like they were just giving Kelis such a hard time and so much pushback, and really, I was almost ready to fight when they was trying to act like she was not influential. It's just crazy. Like I said, if you just go through her style and just see, like, I don't think it's in like that R&B, popish, hip-hop-esque world when it comes to Black women. I don't think we have seen, like, prior to Kelis, anyone who has had that much versatility, that much range, that was just so successful at doing it. And again, I don't see how praise can be for Rihanna or currently praise can be for Tiana Taylor. And again, they're not the only two. It's plenty of women who have. Cassie, when the whole shortcut, Cassie is someone who has benefited off of Kelis' look, like groundwork that Kelis put down. And so I don't understand how those women can be so coveted and loved while in the same breath y'all are dismissing the influence and style of Kelis. It just does absolutely positively does not make sense when it comes to the whole grill movement, and like I said, having Too Short on the album and the do-rags and the suits, and just testing the limits of fashion and just going in spaces that you traditionally didn't see Black women in. Having success in Europe, and just like, man, like Kelis was just amazing. Like, I have a very close friend who Kelis is like one of her like favorite style icons, and I see so much in her style as well. And we always like acknowledge that and have really great conversations about Kelis and what her influence and what her impact has been. And it's just like, I think as a culture, I just wish we got to a point where we could just give her flowers. Give her flowers. Like we giving everybody else flowers who have directly been influenced by her. Like the way that we're not even getting into the commentary she has provided for the men, how she made Lil Wayne dress better, how she made Pharrell dress better, how she made Nas dress better. Like, it's like we're not even speaking about the influence that she's had also in male fashion from some of y'all favorite male artists, and how she switched their trajectory and the things that became popular and the things that they become known for. So it's just like, I think it's beyond time that we give Kelis her flowers, give her her acknowledgement, have her, like, I've seen certain artists that they've put into the fashion realm who is just like, why are they here? Like, Kelis is someone who has been way more than deserving of receiving way more praise in the areas of pop, rock, R&B, hip hop, fashion, all of that. But yet she is rarely discussed. And like, she is deserving of being on like a fashion Mount Rushmore. Like literally, like she is just that girl. And like, you can argue with your mom about that. Seriously. Like I said, I didn't think it was anything more disrespectful than when Beyonce fans came online and tried to directly dismiss her legacy, her impacts, and her influence. I thought it was so disrespectful. I thought it was distasteful, and I thought it was just downright tacky. Again, I'm not putting on Beyonce. I'm just saying that fan base where it was just like the level of delusion that was just coming out, and like them intentionally trying to pick horrible pictures of Kelis to put next to Beyonce and other people. And it's just like, that ain't it. It's no amount of slander or trying to tarnish her that can ever erase the impact that she has had in this industry. And I think it is very little people, even then, who are even deserving of being able to put her on a mood board or even copy her swag or things like that. Of course, they still do it, and they try to act like they don't know that they're taking it from Kelis. But, you know, it just is what it is. But I just really wish we all together as a culture could just give her flowers. And I know I said this was like the evolution of her fashion, like you guys can look at the videos, but honestly, this is just more of a recognition of Kelis and all the things that she has contributed, and giving her flowers and giving her praise, because the disrespect, honestly, truly has to stop. Okay, that concludes this episode. You can shop my style boards on LTK. You can also shop with me on Shop My. If you want to book styling services with me, you can visit me at www.ashleyaleah.com. You can shop on my boutique at www.richbitchcollection.com. If you would like to follow me on any social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok, it is Ashley_Aleah. And please help me get to my 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours so I can start monetizing off my channel. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next episode.